Guess what's happening today? Well, I guess you already know because you've seen the title, but yes, the YETI bike today is going to finally be complete bike, ready to ride, and I'm unbelievably excited. I cannot wait. Let's get this going. Here are some of the cool bits we're going to be fitting today. We've got our usual stuff that we need to make the bike rideable, as well as some upgrades. Muck-off big bore valves, hybrid versions in orange, and this really cool muck-off bottle with the Fidlock system. Going to look super, super cool. And a quick thing before we start, the coil, I finally managed to service it all in the background. Super happy. I wanted to do this myself, and yeah, had a little look, replaced loads of seals, so hopefully they should be running super smooth. Because this chain was off Dad's bike, we want to make sure that it's the right size for the YETI. To check the length, I'm going to put it on our biggest gear here, the big eagle mode. So we've got it there, and we need to overlap it by one inner and one outer. So we've got our chain in our chain tool, then we can break the chain. Now the chain's all measured, we can get the bike on the stand and start putting it all together. I'm going to start this off with putting on the coil. Got the coil on, looking super nice. And I have to say, what I am going to do, at some point, I want to update this sticker because it's pretty old school. The rest of the bike's looking really nice, so I feel like that deserves a nice new sticker. We're going to set up all of our limit screws on the derailleur. Well, I'm happy with that one. Going to do the upper limit now, and I think they could just do with being able to go over a little bit more. So try that. Can tiny bit more. That looks perfect. It was actually pretty close, but still did a little adjustment because we want these gears to be perfect. And now we can fit the chain. Now annoyingly, the trick I normally use by pulling the rear brake to set the quick link, my brakes don't currently work, so we'll have to do that later. Have a quick listen to this. Sounds good, that. Gonna stick with getting these gears working, so let's get a gear cable in there, get it all tuned up, get that B tension screw sorted, get it all working like a dream. Now thread through our new gear cable. Orange cable looking super cool. Thread this all the way through. Yes. Thread it through this little wheel at the back. Got it pulled just a little bit tight. Nothing too much. Not pulling too tight on this, just enough. And then give that. Tighten. So now we've got our cable on, we can start doing a little bit of tuning, so we can set that barrel adjuster and get these gears working lovely, and then we'll move on to the B tension. So I had a little bit of an issue with the gears, particularly getting into that eagle gear. However, a little bit of tuning and playing around, and I think we've got it sorted, so let's have a little go of it. Into that eagle gear, come down. Gears running sweet. There we have it. The gears are running super smooth. Probably actually one of the smoothest of all my bikes. But just as a little side note, if you have got some problems with your gears, then check out my description. I've got a little link there. Find yourself a little video and it should help you out. Now I'm happy with the gears. Just going to double check that this is all tight. Then it's going to give the cable a bit of a snip. Unfortunately, I don't have an orange crimp, but to make it look cool, I'm going to put on one of these flashy gold ones that I've got. Look at that, beautiful. I'm now going to go about cutting our hoses down so we can get them linked up to the brakes, ready for the bleed later on. Going to make our cut. So we've got our shroud, our olive, this other piece, I'm not sure what that's called, and then our copper washer on top. So we can put all of that now into our brake hose, push it forward, get that over, then start screwing that up. Get our cutters, make a nice cut. I'm just going to use this end to open up the hole a little bit. So now you can see we've got our shroud, our olive, whatever this piece is called, on top. Put our little copper washer on there, and then we can put it into our lever here, bring everything on, and then wind on. There we have it. Tighten that up. There we have the brakes both lined up. Got a fresh cable for our dropper post. So I'm going to start by threading this end through. Hopefully you start to see it coming through the front. There it is. Put a bit of that through. And then we can hook that into here. Goes in and through. And the slightly trickier part, gonna need to pull all of this together. And there we are, hopefully. Fingers crossed, that should all be fine. Give the seat a little bit of a tighten so it's in position. Now we can get this all hooked up at our lever. So then we're just gonna put it through this first section. So it comes through like so. Just going to put a bit of tension on it. Got the cable hooked up. Now for the important moment, does it work? Pull the lever. Oh, what's going on with that? I think it needs some more pressure because it is actually holding, locking in place. It goes down and it does go up. So I think we actually just need to pump it up a little bit. Turns out we only had 100 PSI in it. So I think on the back it says 280 to 300. So I'm going to pump it up and we'll try again. So I pumped the pressure back up. Let's try this again. And that's more like it. It locks it in place. Dropper post set. We can then snip off the excess. And then I've got myself another matching gold crimp that we're going to put on now. Big bore valves. Now I'm super excited for this because you might have seen on my e-bike, I've got some of these, but I had the light version, which was super cool, loads of airflow, but these are the hybrid, even crazier. We're up to now 250% more airflow. Crazy, and to make it even better, got them in the lovely orange. It's quite slow doing this on a normal valve. The difference with those big bores, open the valve and it literally just empties it so quick. Something to remember is that these tyres are looking a little bit worn, so I am looking at upgrading them in the future. But as I've done on the rest of this build, I want to try something a little bit different. So if you all recommend Maxxis, then I'll stick with them. But if you've got any other suggestions for me to try, absolutely drop a comment. I want to hear them. Out with the old. With these valves, you also get this cool little spanner. So one side can slot onto our body to help us tighten that up. And then on the other side, we've got this little cutout, and that's going to go over our valve, and then it just helps us operate it if we need it. Super cool. So we can first put through our end. That's going to go in through there. Then have ourselves a little O-ring. We're going to slide on. Then we can fit our screw. We can now fit our valve body onto the base here. And now we can watch how quick this tyre pumps up. With the valves, you also get this little piece of tubing. That's going to go on the end of the valve, and you can use it to fill up sealant without having to take your tyre off of the bead. So to get all that air in, these valves use a Schrader valve. Haven't used one in ages. We're then going to open the valve. So that tyre pumped up super easy. Literally, normally with tubeless, you've got to be pumping away like crazy, but I just pumped it up pretty normal. The tyre was completely off the bead on one side and it's jumped on easy. So making tubeless setup so much easier. Plus, both together, looks super nice. Now we're going to repeat the process for the front wheel. I'm going to start by putting in the base. Then we're going to go for our O-ring. Screw that all the way on. And now we can screw on our valve body. Getting that nice and lined up, and then it looks super good with our orange rotors. So again, we can now pump this up. Something about there. Close up our valve. Stops any air leaking out. Look how good that looks, so nice. Big chunky valves. Super awesome, proper matching that theme of the bike. This bike is progressing super cool. We're getting close to the end. What I'm gonna do now is swap out these grips. I put them on because I thought that they looked a bit orange, but it turns out I think they actually just look quite red. And I'm not sure I necessarily feel the colored grips. Got them on my e-bike and I kind of feel the same, that they get a bit grubby over time and then they just don't look as good. So I'm just gonna go back to a nice simple black. I reckon that looks a lot better. Let me know what you think in the comments. Now we're going for something that I've never done before, bleeding the Hope brakes. So I've done Shimano, I've done SRAM, but I've never done Hope, and it looks a little bit different. However, what I would say is that I've got this easy bleed kit, and it is so good. Like, just like I said in previous videos, this Hope stuff, all proper nice machined, really nice finish to it. And it's called an easy bleed solution, so should be easy. I'm going to start by removing our top port. Now we're going to fit our little bleed port. We're going to fill that up with some fluid. It's going to take out this plunger. Then we've got fluid inside the reservoir, and hopefully that will start filling into the system. So I've got my 8mm spanner on the valve here, and what I'm going to do is pull the lever. Then I'm going to open up a quarter of a turn and see some air coming out, close that up and release the lever. Just going to keep doing this until I can't see any more air coming out of the system. The lever's now feeling really nice. I'm just going to keep tapping to get those last few bits of air out. Can't see any more air coming out. Levers are feeling good. So we can now put our diaphragm back on, and I think I saw in a video they want to slide this on to prevent any air getting into it. Like so. Can now reinstall our pads. I'm now going to realign the caliper. Some really good stop and force there. These brakes look awesome. We've got them all set up, looking really nice, and I have to say, easy bleed solution. That's probably the easiest bleed I've ever done on bikes, so really, really good job by Hope. The bike is looking awesome now, proper enduro bike, but we're missing a couple of little bits, so we've got no mudguard. Got to have a mudguard on there. Now, I've seen a lot of people riding with these bigger mudguards. I've always gone for the quite short, stumpy one. So before I go somewhere in the middle, got a bit of a longer one, and it's a Fox one, bolts right onto the fork rather than having to use cable ties, so I liked that. Let's get on the bike. So we've got that nice long mudguard on now, attaches, bolts on. Really like that because it just keeps it super solid, really nice, loving it. Thought it was quite close up top, but there's plenty of space, and I mean Fox have designed all that. But yeah, it looks absolutely awesome. I'm loving the kind of longer mudguard, it's gonna be so cool. Fun little upgrade, got this micro water bottle in collaboration with Fidlock. And I really like that because it means that one, I can have a bottle on the bike, because at the minute things like my Canyon can't have a bottle cage, so I always have to take a bag with me when I want water. The thing I really like about this system is that when the bottle's not on there, that little kind of Fidlock system is super slim on the frame. You can barely even see it. So you don't have to have like that water bottle cage that's always on the bike. So I think it looks super cool. So nice little upgrade there. Here we have the finished YETI bike. It looks insane. I'm honestly blown away. It's something I've always wanted to do. And to have a YETI is just absolutely insane. I cannot wait to ride this bike. So many cool parts to try out, and it's gonna be literally incredible. So I just thank you everyone, because all of your support and everything like that is what makes me and pushes me to be able to do these things. So it's so good. I appreciate it so much. And I'm going to get you guys involved, because now it's upgrade time over the next few months, and just as it's going to keep going. And what we're going to do with that is that I'm going to be posting something on my Instagram story or maybe a YouTube post, and it's going to allow you as the audience to make recommendations about what upgrades I should do. And then we're going to put that down to a poll, and then you guys can vote and decide what parts can go on the bike for an upgrade. So that could be like tires, handlebars, stems, seat, all of it. We're going to make this bike just so good, keep this build going because I know you will like it, and yeah, just keep it going because I'm loving every moment of it. But as always, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next week for another ride, and then hopefully soon we'll be out on the YETI.